to the next game. This was Packers and Bears. Dan, this was your game as you were very invested into the Bears this season. So, what was your reaction to this game?
let's get let's get to this ish,
Yeah.
okay? Cause I'm here for this one. Let's get to guys, Packers Bears. Okay, let's be so for real here. If you were a Packers fan, you were clenching your cheeks the entire game because Caleb Williams was absolutely dicing you up for a hot minute. Okay, the fear that I've seen from Caleb throughout the season, it was not here today. The poise, the being able to like can keep himself controlled, and especially a very aggressive blitzing Packers defense, they were going after him tremendously, and he was throwing dots. I'm talking about sidearm
Yeah.
bullets to Zacchaeus. Like, imagine Odunze in this game.
Yeah, it would have helped. Would have helped.
Luther Burden came in at the right times that were needed, and he was actually able to like move the sticks.
I wanted
Swift,
more from him.
Munungai, absolutely saucing. And the thing is that now Jordan Love had if Jordan Love had an actual wide receiver, I had that point right here that the Packers are one wide receiver away from being something dangerous.
Would you
And
do
why is
think?
because I'm not saying Matthew Golden is the number one right now. I'm not saying Christian Watson is the right guy for the number one right now. They have a lot of great number twos. And I'm being so for real about that ish. I'm
I've
being so
usually
for real
felt that
about
way.
this.
Hmm.
And okay, and going on with that, right? So going with that, let's see. Let's go to the stats here, chat. Okay. Packers coming out with 337 total yardage. Bears coming out with 315. Bears had the time of possession, but the only issue is that I saw this game was the Bears were not able to put themselves in position to get to get the first downs when needed. They went 8 for 16 today on third downs, 50% for that. They went 1 for 2 for fourth downs, 50% as well. And they're 2 from 4 for the red zone, again 50% from that. You're not gonna do anything in the playoffs going into Lambeau like that, you know. I
Yeah.
think personally also the home field advantage the Packers had did play a significant role. You saw today people were slipping all over the fields. The field conditions were crazy. So, but again, I'm being so for real. When you have more Odunze and Luther Burden as your three, it's a real big difference from Luther Burden to Zacchaeus. Zacchaeus is still a solid receiver, and he was throwing, and they were still able to score on them the way they did. But again, for Caleb to be scoring, well, it was 21, right? It was like 21
21.
to 28, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, 21 to
28,
28.
21.
So, Scotty, I'm not gonna
They
lie.
had a chance to tie it up.
I think that was my prediction flipped. Um,
Yeah, I think you're right.
what was it? But what got me with this whole thing was is how Caleb in like necessary moments where he was having to try to run or make moves or make shifty, like he did it. The Packers defense is what's going to kill them in the season in the playoffs. I promise you right now. It's not going to be the offense and love, and that's what's going to get me is because I bet you, if they don't make it far in the playoffs or they get knocked out of the playoffs, the question is going to be, oh, this offense, this offense, this offense. And I said it myself, they're one wide receiver away, but the Packers defense has been letting up like three scores at least a game, like pretty consistently. You know what I mean? They got stopped consistently against the Eagles, but the Eagles also shut down the Packers offense. So that's where to me it's like, how come in a game like this where the Bears were able to come to Philly and did what they did, but then the Packers now play lights out. Like what is this Packers team different from 2 or 3 weeks ago? You know what I mean? And I think personally, it's just the momentum they have, and or because they replayed at Lambeau, it wasn't in Philly. So that's why I say it's like they play up to their competition, and they just play different when it comes to the rivals. But give the Bears one more year, Lord have mercy. Oh my God.
Quote
Oh
that.
my. Oh my God. Yo, quote that shit for me. Give the Bears one more year. Oh my God.
Make an edit. Scott, make an edit and post it on Twitter.
I'll work on it.
Give the Bears one more.
I
That
thought
one dude.
I thought I thought one thing that was maybe I don't fully agree with is I think Christian Watson looks pretty good right now. I mean, he's
He
not
looks good
I'd
every
agree.
year. He looks good every year.
I think it's just with him
This year,
is he healthy? Is he like actually out there?
He is. I think
it's
he
felt
is a
it's
great
felt different since he's been
fantasy.
back.
He is a great and he's a great end of the year fantasy receiver pickup.
No, this year it feels a lot different with him back on, like, because they didn't have him the first half of the season. When he's come back, I feel like it solidified this offense a little more, especially in the passing game and the deep balls. Because he can do everything for you. It seems like.
Yeah, and maybe every Toyota-thon, that's when Christian Watson, decides to come
Yeah.
back. But I agree. I think it feels different with him, and let's. I think we should be fair to the Packers. I think the Bears look really good, and I have thoughts on them. But in the past 3 weeks, they've beat the Vikings, the Lions, and the Bears, and
All right, the Vikings. The Vikings were like, we're 50-50 on that right now at number 9.
I'm only saying they defeated the entire division, and now
Yeah.
they got a reasonable schedule up ahead: the Broncos, the Bears, Ravens, and Vikings. But I think this is a indication that they should be the favorite to win the division. They are ahead of the Lions, and they don't have to play them again, so that helps. And I think they are getting some pieces back. But in terms of the Bears, I'm in no way disappointed by this loss. The way they fought back, and for the most part, they forced a turnover early in this game on defense that kept it a lot closer than I think it would have been off of Jordan Love. And then they were able to run the ball really effectively in the fourth quarter and the third quarter as they were coming back, which I thought was really, really good for them because it showed that, they're not going to abandon their identity when they're losing just because, you might fear that you're going to chew too much clock. They knew it's what they're best at, and they got down the field and they scored. And then Ben Johnson pulled the rabbit out of the hat on the third down call to Colston Loveland with the play action play. He's even like the
It was
fourth.
tough.
He's like another option for them, and I just think the whole operation looks really good, and they're definitely capable of beating this Packers team. And when you mentioned there's no Rome, it really solidifies that because Caleb was you were right. He was not afraid of this challenge. He took it head on and he avoided Micah Parsons a couple times. I thought he looked really good. So I think both teams are, it's kind of hard to come away from this feeling too bad if you're a Bears fan.
I think we have a key point we're missing here.
What's that?
And I think it's the last play of the game. I feel like when you look at the,
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Thank you. I was about to talk about that.
They were in the red zone, and it seemed like Caleb Williams made the wrong throw. It looked like DJ Moore was wide open at the first down marker, and he completely whiffed on it, going towards the end zone. I feel like if he had because he had DJ Moore running under, he just hit DJ Moore. It's probably a touchdown. We probably have overtime in that game. So Caleb Williams, it really was a read off. I feel like for him, I feel like he's processing things faster, and I feel like that shows because he's being able to escape the ball, like the pocket now. He's picking up timely yardage. He's not taking as many sacks as he did last year. But once it starts clicking, him and the timing of the offense, hitting these receivers, that's gonna be, when he's fully unlocked, the arm talent. Because I feel like he could be skittish at times or not fully confident when he drops back. That's why he's looking to run.
Really hesitant. 100%. I fully agree. I wrote that in my thing saying, Caleb one missed throw. Caleb's missed throw had me excited, and the reason I had me excited is because it showed me he's still learning. That he's still this isn't his ceiling.
Yeah.
If he didn't fuck up and he didn't make that mistake, I would think to myself right here, right now, he figured out the offense, everything going forward, and had me shit bricks. But I saw the same thing that when I saw him miss that easy throw because he was trying to go for the win, it showed me for the playoffs. I'm excited to see what that fucking looks like now. And going forward with Caleb Williams. Because now you see Ben Johnson and him, they're figuring it out together.
Yeah.
Yes. You can see their trust going more and more each week. I feel like Ben Johnson didn't really love him at first, but I feel like now they're growing in together with their relationship. It's improving.
Yeah, and he looks really
you guys
fast.
agree?
Yeah. I think that's part of his speed is I think, knowing when Coach Johnson wants him to scramble when, he wants him to extend a play and all those sorts of things. He's really decisive and twitchy, which is one of the best traits you can have. So it looks I would agree.
He's the
All right. Well, that's enough Packers Bears. That was a really, really good game. and they play again in 2 weeks. So it's not over yet, Bears fans. You get one more shot at home, and we will be following very closely. But it's time to move on to what was also a very great game, except this one took place in the AFC, and that was the Bengals and the Bills. The Bills were able to win